DC Virtual Tours is the leading online historical tour company in the Northeast region of the United States. We specialize in tours relating to American history and literature. We have been providing authentic and personal tours to sites associated with some of the most famous authors, poets, artists, and historical figures that America has ever seen. 5 undergraduate college students from the George Washington University founded DC Virtual Tours. After being assigned a project researching famous authors in the Washington, D.C. area, the students were inspired and realized the opportunity at their fingertips. The combination of a multitude of historical figures tracing some history back to the nation's capital, and a natural skill for unearthing information made DC Virtual Tours achieve immediate success. After graduation, these students expanded the tour locations to various places in the Northeast, including New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and numerous other historical cities in the region. Our mission is to provide educational, interesting, and fact-filled virtual tours for tourists from around the world eager to explore the rich history of the United States. With our help, this can all be done with a click of a mouse. We are continuously doing research to find even more interesting places where we will be able to provide illuminating information to visitors and the public. Our virtual journey today will explore the life of the acclaimed author Ambrose Bierce. Enjoy the ride!
Ambrose Bierce was born on June 24, 1842, in Mize County, Ohio. His unhappy and restless childhood, which led to his estrangement from his family, earned Ambrose the nickname Bitter Bierce. Despite his disagreements with his parents, Marcus and Laura, both instilled a deep love for books and writing in young Ambrose. It was in Washington, D.C., where Ambrose was able to pursue his passion in writing. First stop on the tour is 18 Logan Circle, located in DuPont Circle. This was Bierce's first residence in the D.C. area. After a few months thoroughly enjoying his stay in the nation's capital, Bierce turned a temporary stay into a permanent relocation, whilst continuing his work as a journalist. In Bierce's time, Logan Circle was known as Iowa Circle. It wasn't until 1930 when the park was renamed by Congress in honor of John A. Logan, a Civil War general and U.S. Senator. Bierce's life at Iowa Circle has been described as frictionless. He had an established daily routine and was said to trudge his daily rounds like a postman. He'd wake up in the mid-morning and start his 20-minute walk from his apartment at Logan Circle to the Army and Navy Club. At the club, he picked up his mail. Afterwards, he would continue on to the Washington office of the Hearst papers, where he wrote his daily column titled The Passing Show. At night, he rarely left his apartment. He would either stay alone and work on his columns for his magazine or invite a couple of friends over for games. Still, Bierce's stay in D.C. wasn't all too pleasant due to the grim circumstances consuming his family. When writing a letter to a friend from his residence at Iowa Circle, Bierce stated he was leading a life of mere waiting for the end of it all. Our next stop is 1368 Euclid Street, an apartment building in Columbia Heights. This is where Bierce found sanctuary for the last decade of his life. The 6-story building was designed by Albert B. Morgan in 1898 during the Spanish-American War, and was named after Admiral Dewey's ship, the USS Olympia. The building demonstrates late Victorian as well as Beaux Arts architecture, whilst combining Romanesque and classical elements. The Olympia is the only survivor of what were originally 4 classical luxury apartment houses built in the 1890s. The construction marked the emergence of 14th Street as the city's first apartment house corridor. A Washington Times reporter interviewed Bierce in August 1902 described his apartment as hung and carpeted in red and containing a Turkish couch piled high with pillows, a table full of interesting books, and a quaint little sideboard filled with curious glasses, decanters, and a chafing dish. This speaks to Bierce's sophisticated and artistically enlightened style. Unfortunately, while Ambrose Bierce was living at the Olympia Apartments, he did not create many literary works due to the death of his son. Ultimately, after over 10 years in the Olympia, Ambrose Bierce disappeared and was never heard from again.
Thank you for taking this fantastic journey with us through the life of Ambrose Bierce. We hope you choose DC Virtual Tours for your next electronic walk through the lives of America's most renowned authors.